And welcome back to the American Dream. The entrepreneurial journey always has its ups and downs. Imagine the 2008 market crash causing you to lose $100 million. That's the story of David Meltzer, who joins us on the American Dream. And there's a lot more to your story as well. Written books, keynote speaker with Forbes magazine right in there. So got a lot going on, man.
Yeah, a lot of fun, but it's part of being an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah, so you've had your fair share of ups and downs. I know you write about it in your book, so I'm not sharing anything that you haven't personally, publicly shared. But for anyone who doesn't know you, give us the story. Where did you start? Take us up to 2008.
Just real quickly, grew up poor, wanted to be rich so I could buy my mom a house and a car. Ended up making a choice out of law school to get into technology. Worked for West Publishing. In 9 months, made my first $1 million. Bought my mom that house and the car.
What year was this?
In 92.
Okay.
And then by 95, we got bought out for $3.4 billion. Set me in a different branding mode to brand myself as a technology guy.
Wow.
Went up to the Silicon Valley, raised $169 million for a company called EveryPath, wireless proxy server space, then got hired as Samsung CEO of their first convergence device, which we now call smartphone. So I was the CEO of the PCE phone, the world's first CE device.
Wow.
And made a ton of money. They kicked me out because the company got too big. I was out over my skis. Started investing in technology, real estate. My dad was a commercial broker. So I ended up with a golf course, a ski mountain, 33 properties here in San Diego alone. And I overextended myself, thought I could always borrow against the equity I had. The banks went under, and then all of a sudden said, as I was in lawsuits too, right, liquidating my ego, that's my terminology. All of a sudden they said, hey, you got millions of dollars, but you can't have it. I learned a valuable
So you have all
lesson.
this equity in real estate and you can't tap into it.
Can't tap into it.
A lot of people went through that. I mean, even on a smaller scale, I mean, individual homeowners and everything else is a tough time.
Yeah, so I lived here in Rancho Santa Fe. I just made a conscious decision not to fight it. I wanted to pay back everybody that I owed because I figured liquidating the properties through bankruptcy would pay any debts I had. So I actually came out of bankruptcy in a moral position that I felt comfortable with. But during that process, I met Lee Steinberg, the most notable sports agent, became CEO.
What year is this?
This was in 2008.
Okay, so market crashes, you're going through all this, this liquidation, this BK.
Yeah.
Meet Lee Steinberg.
Lee Steinberg. Within 48 hours, he hired me as his COO. Within 6 months, I became the CEO of the most notable sports agency. Most people know him from Jerry Maguire.
Sure. So explain this. How do you go from tech to a sports agency and be able to carry the skill set over?
Great question, because most people want to be Jerry Maguire.
Sure.
Right? And they still come up to me. I always focused, because I went from being a lawyer to technology, I always focused in on skills, knowledge, and desire. I played football and baseball in college. You know, I really a sports guy. I always dreamed of being a sports agent. But for me, I had developed skills. So when I talked to Lee Steinberg, I wasn't looking for a job. I was representing a friend for a reality show called Showtime.
Okay.
But I talked about my skill set, my administrative, my organization, my operation skill set, my ability to raise money, as well as my technology background, and it caught Lee's eye. And so out of all the thousands of resumes that he had to take Jeff Morad's job, the old owner of the Padres, who was COO of Lee's, I got the job.
Wow.
Because of my skills, knowledge, and desire. And they did. They translated completely over. And I still look for kids by their values, their skills, and their knowledge, not by whether they worked for CAA or David Dunn or anyone.
Skills, knowledge, and desire. What were the biggest lessons you've learned through the adversity of 2008?
Value. So I live my life. I wake up every morning now, instead of trying to take and compete, there's no resistance in my life. I actually shifted the paradigm and said, you know what? I have a great gift. I'm going to start giving it, meaning I pray to God for 10 people that I can help every day. It's very simple. I work just as hard. I love to work. I enjoy the pursuit of my potential. But my goal in life is to provide value, and I trust the universe that it will bring everything back to me that I ask for, and I've learned to ask big.
So you mentioned you're a former athlete, so you have that competitive spirit.
Let's not embarrass myself, right? I played in college.
Hey, I claim it too, and I didn't get through anything past high school.
Right.
But you have that competitive spirit in you, that entrepreneurial spirit. That kind of started you, got you to where you're going, but then over time, maybe humbled by 2008, you learned to focus more on values and giving, and you feel like that's reciprocated pretty well for you.
Yeah, served my way up, served my way out. I still do. I trust in the fact that if I provide value, that the universe, it creates a void for the universe to fill, and it's much easier to fill that void than me making promises. And so all I do is stay focused in on the value that I can provide. I do believe in a consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit, enjoyment of the pursuit of my potential.
Wow.
And that's the pursuit of that value that I can help others with.
So fast forward us to now.
Yeah.
Right? So now we're in 2018.
Blessed. I started a business with Warren Moon, who was a client of mine and a partner at Lee's. We have a sports marketing company with a motto of make a lot of money to help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. We have really different sides of the business: media, sponsorship, and then philanthropy.
Okay.
So those are the three businesses that we're in. I've been able to build my own brand by speaking around the world, writing books. I have a great podcast, a top 5 podcast called Playbook, and then the #1 digital business show called Elevator Pitch with Entrepreneur Magazine.
Tell us about Elevator Pitch.
Elevator Pitch is my way of giving back. I felt that I get pitched so much, right? I'm involved in a lot of funds. I raise a lot of money. I felt that people didn't have that 60-second stimulating interest down. They're great geniuses, and they were missing opportunities because they couldn't articulate value. So I created a show with Entrepreneur where you get 60 seconds in an elevator.
So Entrepreneur Magazine, you created the show with.
Correct.
Okay?
Yeah, and they're in an elevator for 60 seconds, 4 judges, and they have 60 seconds to convince us to open the doors. If they open the doors, it's a mentoring show. I call it Shark Tank with Soul. We actually mentor you. We have several options from PO financing to all of us together investing. We also have an entrepreneur fund that will invest. And then we also have Indiegogo involved, who did all of the crowdfunding in case we want you to prove us to the market and prove us wrong. We can come back and invest again.
So you have a big belief, you believe in capitalism.
Absolutely.
But capitalism to allow you to be more philanthropic.
Yeah, in fact, I wrote a book called Compassionate Capitalism that shifts the paradigm of value, right? It's called Journey to the Soul of Business. That why not challenge ourselves to not only make a lot of money, but in the process, like Elon Musk and others, create social impact and change.
Wow. Dave, great interview. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Anytime. Thank you.
All right, more of the American Dream coming up next. Welcome back to the American Dream. There is no doubt about it, the real estate industry is under disruption and chaos. You have companies like Purple Bricks and Redfins trying to commoditize the industry to circumvent the realtor. I'm a big believer that to gain market share, you got to be a great marketer. And with that disruption, creates amazing opportunities. One of the best marketers I've ever met in real estate, Seth O'Byrne, joins us on the show right now. Seth, good to have you.
Yeah, thank you.
Just won a big award as it pertains specifically to the marketing of real estate.
Yeah, this was cool. Yeah, we stoked to talk about this. The San Diego Business Journal, obviously, the go-to publication for people in business right now.
Yep.
They do an award every year called the Best in Real Estate, and we were really proud because BOSA, when they were building Pacific Gate, identified a few key brokers that in the resale market, they wanted to help push the project along. Well, we did a whole video marketing series around Pacific Gate, and we're really happy to say San Diego Business Journal gave us best real estate deals for our marketing.
But let's be clear, tell everyone real quickly what Pacific Gate is.
Yes, so Pacific Gate is the most expensive high-rise ever built in San Diego.
Yeah,
So
it's insane.
Yeah.
Couple of the amenities, share.
There's a yacht share, a private yacht share. So there's one yacht that everybody it's in the HOA has. You have a fleet of Porsches that you can drive, that you can take out on trade. There's something called a chef concierge, which has nothing to do with being a chef. It's a concierge that essentially does everything and anything you want. And so the penthouse sold for $15 million. It's what's called a super prime building, which is one of the rarest buildings for high rises at the highest level you could get to. And so we did hopefully a fairly inspired marketing project around it, but we were just excited because, this year's been amazing for getting recognized for all the work we put in.
So marketing luxury real estate, which is a lot different than your median prices, whether it's in Southern California or all across the country. Now, the American Dream is a national television show. We're all across, 23 cities now, from San Diego to New York City to Seattle to Dallas, all the way to the middle, and St. Louis and Cincinnati. And we always talk about how marketing is so important when it comes to properties, helping them get top dollar. What we've found through our network of power players, which is a trademark term on the American Dream, many of our elite luxury realtors in their markets are flying you there to market their properties, these 10, 20, $30+ million properties. Tell us some stuff you've done recently.
Yeah. So it's been an amazing 2017 and 18 have been incredible for this. So, Last year we went to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and advertised one of the most expensive homes ever constructed in Idaho on the lake. We were there for 3 days, created an amazing video with Sotheby's out there. Then we went up and worked with Wes Jones at Keller Williams on one of the most expensive houses on the market in the entire state of Washington. 4 houses on Lake Washington, unbelievable house. And we went to Aspen, Colorado, and advertised a house that actually owns 400 acres on the backside of Ajax. So you actually own part of Aspen Mountain.
Wow.
There's no way you can be king of the hill if you're not the king of Aspen, right?
Yeah.
That's where the billionaires pushed out the millionaires. So we got hired to go out there and advertise $30 million in real estate in 48 hours. And just came back from, I believe, my favorite trip we've ever done, which is we went to Steamboat, Colorado, and we worked with Steamboat Sotheby's and all the brokers there, and used the ability for us now to make our content national with the American Dream, but craft really highly produced content around this amazing place, Steamboat, Colorado. Most people have never been there, and I think it's one of the greatest places I've ever been.
What Seth does better than anyone is he creates a story around the lifestyle of that property. And you would maybe call that content, right?
Sure.
A storyline, creating content. But then the distribution side of it is you're mentioning targeting billionaires in other parts of the world where not only are you creating this great story, but you're finding the people to put that story in front of. I don't know anyone doing this all across the country. And I've been traveling, meeting the best brokers everywhere and sitting right next to who I consider to be the best. So if you are selling a piece of luxury real estate, great guy to learn from. If you are a realtor, great guy to maybe reach out to. I've seen it firsthand. It's been a remarkable journey to watch. Seth O'Byrne,
Cool.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
More of The American Dream coming up next. Well, as you know, The American Dream is a national program where we focus on business, the entrepreneurial spirit, overcoming adversity, finance, the market, all things that are relevant to empowering your American dream. But a big topic of conversation on this show is housing. So what we do is we integrate local, top-producing, award-winning realtors to cover a wide range of topics on that subject, different micro markets, different niche subject matter. Housing is such a big topic, so we're going to bring you a lot of information right now from some of the best in your market. Let's check out these interviews.
Welcome back to The American Dream. This segment is one you won't want to miss. We get to speak with a candidate for the Arizona House of Representatives for Legislative District 18. Her name is Farhana Shifa. I've got Tom Speaks with me. He's an award-winning realtor with Revelation Real Estate. Tom and Farhana, thanks so much for being here with us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, hello.
Of course. So Farhana, we really want to speak with you. I want to know a little bit, what is your background? How did you get into this whole world of politics?
I'm Farhana Shifa, and I'm running for Legislative District 18 House of Representative. I was born in Bangladesh, came here legally, became a U.S. citizen, and the day I became citizen, that was the best day of my life, because the moment I raised my hand and took the oath that I will bear arms to protect this country from foreign and domestic enemies, I knew this is my home, and only in this country, trust me, around the world, you can be what you want to be. And I am the living proof of American dream. That's why today I'm here. And that's why my slogan is my goal too, restoring the American dream for all. And I'm honored to come to this studio and talking to you because you say the same thing, the American dream.
I love that, restoring the American dream for all. I mean, it couldn't resonate more with the show that we are standing behind, and we know that the American dream is not dead, so I love that you are standing up for what your American dream is and that you're pursuing it. So I want to know a little bit more, why exactly are you running for office?
So last couple of years, I have been involved with the politics, and last election cycle, I was the Arizona Victory Board Director for the Republican Party. And also I'm the minority outreach director for the Republican Party. So I went to many communities. They're not politically engaged and they're unheard of. So I saw people are not well represented in the government. and I wanted to groom leaders. So one point, my friends and advisors said, Farhana, probably this is the time you lead us. So I was honored to have that confidence in me, and I prayed to God, got the answer, and I said, this is my time to give back to the community and to the people. Not only that, I want to take the voice of the people to the state capitol.
Farhana, Shifa, I love what you're about. Say I want to vote. When is the election, and where exactly is your district? Where's Legislative District 18?
So Legislative District is combined of 4 cities, like part of Chandler, Ahwatukee, Foothill, Phoenix, then Tempe and Mesa Dobson area. So if you look at the streets from Dobson all the way towards South Mountain, and then from Pecos all the way towards Southern, so that block. So the primary election will be in August 28th, but people started voting. Early ballot is out. Those who voted for me, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And those who didn't vote yet, get to know me. Go to my website, shifaaz.com, SHIFAAZ.com, or give me a call. I'm very accessible. I will answer any question you have. And you can vote early going to the poll, like certain polls are giving away the early ballots. And if you miss all the opportunity, then August 28th, show up in the poll, because I believe in you and I believe in people power. And this government is a reflection of people. And I'm one of the candidates who is pro-life, constitutional, conservative, Republican candidate. And I'm by the people, for the people, and from the people.
Beautiful. If you haven't voted, do your research. Get to know Farhana, Shifa. Tom, I want to talk to you right before we go. Tell us about the listing that you've got. I know it's a great one.
Oh, that's so boring. Farhana Shifa, it's an honor to sit here with you, and I've talked to her many times, and her background is so amazing. She is really an embodiment of the American dream, no doubt about it. Anyway, let's talk about my listing real quick. It is a very luxurious home in the heart of Gilbert, Arizona. Complete luxury, perfectly remodeled, updated completely in 2016. The color palette is designer perfect. Everything from the designer kitchen to every room, every detail. The backyard is huge. It's almost an acre lot. Beautiful pool, Olympic-sized pool. It's like a resort. And finally, it's on a secluded cul-de-sac in a slightly ruralish area without a lot of houses around, which is good. But yet it's 2 miles from a major highway, so you're not isolated either. You're isolated in your little area, but then once you drive out to the main street, you're right in the heart of civilization again. So it's a fantastic opportunity for someone that wants a modern, sleek, luxurious home.
Sounds beautiful. It sounds like it's private yet accessible and offers everything on the interior. So Tom and Farhana, we appreciate you coming on The American Dream. I know you're both believers, so thank you again.
Thank you so much for having us. Don't forget to vote.
Thank you.
Will do. Thanks so much. Thanks for watching The American Dream. We'll be right back with more.
Hello there in the studio. We are live right now on location with a dear friend of ours that we actually met at the gym. And what's really cool, Mike Morelli here and my wife Kim, we started talking and I found out his story, and let me tell you, unbelievable, unbelievable. Yeah. And so I'm just going to drop some little hints. This guy went from nothing to a $25 million business in how long? 5 years?
5 years, yeah.
So tell us how that looks. Like, how did you get started?
Yeah, so it's interesting because I didn't know anything about fitness before I got into the fitness space. Back 6 years ago, and many of my followers know, and we'll just tell your community, I was addicted to drugs. I was in a rough shape. I went through a divorce and a bankruptcy simultaneously that led me back to my mom's at 31 years old. I don't know about you, but knock knock mom, 31 years old, it's not super great, you know, but obviously she loves me, she took me in, and you know, it was in those moments where I had to really dig deep, and I was out of shape too, you know, I was probably 25+% body fat. So I started to click away, Google, and I came across the Paleolithic diet. Whole foods from as close to nature as possible. You can pick it, hunt it, gather it, catch it. That seemed logical to me. And so I started doing that. That was my first step. Then from there, I started stringing together exercises, not knowing that I was doing a HIIT at the time, but I was stringing together burpees and renegade rows in my mom's basement, and I had a profound transformation. So in 113 days, now we can do it a lot faster now, but 113 days, I went from about 25% body fat down to 8, saw my abs for the first time in my life. I'm like, whoa, I started getting compliments, my family, my friends, the girl at the coffee shop was like, wow, your body's changing, right? Nothing better in the world than getting those compliments.
This is true.
So that feel, right? You're like, oh yeah, well, thank you.
Thank you,
You did look good today. And so that really propelled me. I thought, gosh, if I can do this, I can teach others how to do it. This was 6 years ago, and if you guys want to go back and watch that first YouTube video, you've seen it.
Yeah, we're going to share that. So yeah,
I mean, it is like
raw.
Really raw.
Really raw.
It was a 3-minute ad workout that took 9 minutes to record because there was a 6-minute intro.
Oh my.
So anyway, you know, at that point in time, I had no idea. But from when I had my transformation, and 6 months after that, I had 5 certifications. I'm like, listen, if I'm going to do this,
you're all in.
I've got to be all in. I've got to be credible, and I want to learn, because at that time, all I knew was what I'd learned online. I launched HIIT Max. Right out of the gate, it's a high-intensity interval training program that we still sell today. Over 200,000 copies sold.
Oh, wow.
150,000 of those in the first 12 months of launch.
Oh, wow.
And you're worldwide, correct?
Worldwide, yeah, worldwide. We were serving people on every continent. And from that led me into supplements and custom meal plans and all the different things that you see here. A best-selling book that we launched about a year ago. And so to fast forward today, you know, we're here, and I get to you know, meet people like you, and it's just led me to just open so many doors.
That's so great. That's so great. One quick question for you.
Yeah.
Since we follow you on social media, how do you feel social media has played in your business overall? I mean, you have, what, 1.1 million followers on Instagram?
Yeah, one page is 1.1. So we've amassed across social media and our email list, we've amassed about 4 million followers in the last 5 years. And to answer your question, it is my business, right? We've done no paid advertising up until just recently. So every, you know, when you say a $25 million fitness empire from scratch, that revenue is generated from primarily Instagram. A few other platforms, right?
Sure.
But,
Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook, but 90% at least from Instagram.
Wow.
So it is why I'm here today, why I'm motivating all the people that we motivate, and why we're changing lives. I mean, it's because of social media.
Now, for that person that's getting started, what do you do? What's the first step?
Yeah.
What does that look like?
Because that's the biggest, I think there's so much stuff out there that as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as someone, you know, in real estate just getting started, everyone says, hey, you have to be on social media.
Yeah.
You have to do this, you have to do that. What's the best way to at least get started?
Yeah, so I mean, if we're talking about social media specifically, right, in the beginning, people follow you because of the value you bring to their life, right? I mean, think about the people you follow with, unless you're Kim Kardashian or one of the major megastars and you want to know what they're up to, which, great, but that's not me. I need to provide value. I'm not Kim Kardashian, I'm not Brad Pitt, I'm not, you know, so I have to provide value in order to get my name out there. At the end of the day, you could talk all you want, but if they're not receiving your message and they don't want what you're selling, then you've got to change and orchestrate something new.
What would the top 3 things be that you would say?
So the first thing is, and you know this, right? Because I admire you guys for what you're doing in your space, right? Nobody is doing what you're doing on social media, right? Like you've just come out of nowhere almost. When I say nowhere, there's a story behind that, right? It's like
2 years of hard work.
Yeah, it's kind of like, and that's what people think, right? And we had this discussion.
Yep.
People are now real estate people are following you guys. They're like, whoa, this couple's got it going on. They're crushing it, right? Going back to what you did, right? You just kind of get started, right? You got to put yourself out there, right? You've got to say, if I'm going to do this, I've got to put myself out there. You know, eat, exercise, have the mindset and the community to really change their lives.
Thank you so much for sharing with our viewers out there, because people don't know sometimes, and I think you've kind of cleared a path out.
Yeah, and I'd love to, for all of your, your community, anybody that's watching, I've got an approved foods list that we just created. It's the foods that I eat to stay lean and ripped all year long.
I want that list.
I'll give it to you. And it's macros. It goes into blood sugar regulation, weight maintenance. It gives you a really simple, easy to follow plan, and we're giving it away, no strings attached. And they can find that at mfit.com/Michaels with an S foods.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I'd love to give that to anybody that's watching. You can go there and you can just drop your email in there, and we'll shoot it to you via email. And I've got, of course, a copy.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome.
Well,
thank you so much.
We want to wrap up this session. Back to you guys in the studio.
You just heard from award-winning realtors about your marketplace. It's one thing to find your dream home. It's another thing to finance it. I've traveled the country to find the best mortgage experts in every city. You're going to hear from yours in a Mortgage Minute right now. Let's check it out.
Right now for your Mortgage Minute, we have Kelly Zitlow with us in studio. She is the Vice President and Mortgage Specialist with Cornerstone Home Lending. Kelly, thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Oh, anytime. I'm so excited to talk to you about this, because this is a common mistake that so many people make, is doing things that are out of the ordinary during the home loan process.
Yes.
And with such a hot market right now, we really want people to be able to achieve their goals and their dream home.
Absolutely. So some of the things that I've seen people do during this process, and remember, this is a pretty exciting time in somebody's life and lots of emotion, and sometimes people just aren't thinking clearly, but here are some of the things that you do not want to do during this process, which is change jobs or change how you're paid. Okay, so if that's a decrease, or maybe you're W-2 and your employer wants to take you to a 1099 or anything like that, once you're pre-qualified and that lender has given you a pre-qualification letter, if something changes in your employment, you want to make sure you're talking to the lender prior to that change taking effect.
So because this will get flagged, and then this could halt the entire process.
It could put somebody in a position to actually have their loan declined.
Wow.
So it's super important to just know that the employment is the number one thing that lender is looking at if they're using employment to qualify.
Absolutely. Critical information,
yes.
Kelly. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, that's all for the American Dream. Thank you so much for checking us out. Remember, our goal is to educate, empower, and engage your American Dream. Don't forget, we love you to breathe oxygen into this message. Follow us on social media, and don't forget, we'll catch you next time. See you next week.